Hello everyone, welcome to another UX expert interview session. In this video, I'm very excited to introduce our guest, Yaron Cohen, a prominent figure in the world of design, research, and strategy. Hello Yaron, and a warm welcome from us, UX Bonfire.
Hello, Catherine.
Hi. So can you provide us a bit of an overview of your background and your current role?
Yes, absolutely. So currently, I work for Canada's biggest bank as a design researcher and strategist. And basically, this is my main responsibility. And on top of that, I also help managing the professional community of design researchers that work within our digital division.
Oh, and could you share the story of how you ended up at where you are right now, and what was your motivation towards this career path?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, I started out doing both like a degree in business and then a master's degree in sustainability, particularly in research. I was interested in the human aspects of sustainability. And from there, I started working, first of all, in data analytics. I've learned how to basically do some design of dashboards and also do some research methodologies that were mostly on the quantitative side. But overall, I was really interested in going back to working more closely with customers, with humans. And basically, I ended up transitioning a few years ago straight into design research, UX research. And actually, one of my former colleagues really helped me make this transition, recommended that I do this based on my interest in understanding context and not just numbers.
Interesting. And what would you say in your journey, which specific tools or skills have been the most valuable, and how have they contributed to your success in design, research, and strategy?
That's a really good question. So as I mentioned before, I started out doing roles that were mostly in analytics. And basically the analytical skills that I've learned within my, I guess, almost like previous career translated very well into a career in design research, because at the end of the day, I still look at data. I still do a lot of analysis, just different methods, but the foundations help me a lot. Then I would also say that some of the design skills that I've learned on the way on how to design dashboards and how to basically approach interfaces from a human perspective helped me a lot, because nowadays I primarily serve designers that basically need my guidance and support from a research perspective. And lastly, I would say that the relationship building skills that I've learned along the way also helped me a lot, because both the field of data analytics and the field of user experience are relatively young, and they still need to basically advocate for themselves a lot. So what I've learned, in one relatively young field helped me a lot to do the exact same thing in the field of user experience.
Yeah. And what aspects of your job do you find most fulfilling?
So primarily, I would say the collaboration with different stakeholders. Right now, I basically have to work with stakeholders in design, product management, also engineering, and basically, for me, it's a lot of fun to first of all, explain what I do, explain the value, and also show it and include them in the process. So first of all, being able to collaborate with all these people, also being able to use all the insights that we're generating and feed them back into the creation of great solutions. And I think lastly, understanding the human angle that basically is involved in new and current technologies and that go beyond the technology itself.
Oh, okay. And is it possible to provide an example for our viewers to better understand what you mean by this?
Yes, absolutely. So I work in the world of banking, and basically what we sometimes see with new technologies is obviously a lot of excitement around the technology itself. So I'll give you an example. We are currently working on open banking, which is a relatively new concept in Canada. And beyond the idea that you can connect your bank account to different, I guess, third parties and basically do a lot of interesting things that are going to change the world eventually. What's interesting to know is basically how people feel about this whole thing. As a customer, like, are you feeling nervous to maybe share some of your banking data, or are you okay with it? So what's your trust level? And basically, what's your level of comprehension of what is the thing that you're actually sharing? And basically, what are you getting out of this? So understanding all of this, because at the end of the day, understanding this human angle is basically what allows teams to understand potentially, I guess, the extent of adoption of technologies and what can actually be done based on, I guess, user needs.
Okay, great. Thank you. And given your experience, what factors or challenges have kept you from exploring opportunities in the Web3 space so far?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. And I think, at the state where we're at in industry, a lot of us, UX designers and researchers actually work for organizations that can be either big or small, but organizations that still haven't made the transition from Web 2 to Web 3. Maybe there are some, let's say, limited scope type of experiments. I know, at least for a fact, within the banking industry, there's a lot happening with central bank digital currencies. But basically, because we're not there yet, I guess a lot of us still do not have the opportunity to work directly on this type of project. In the world of startups, I understand that basically there's a lot more attempts to work on Web3, but most of it is still happening within, the world of engineering and technology and not so much design. I guess eventually we'll get there, but in the meantime, what I'm trying to do is to educate myself as much as possible on potential use cases of this technology, because at the end of the day, I'm representing, I guess, the human angle. And on the side, in the past almost a year and a half, I think at this point, I've been consulting pro bono to a nonprofit startup in the field of carbon emissions, and basically they are using a decentralized technology in the back end to record the transactions. So basically, I'm getting my exposure, more like on the side. It's still not my mainstream, but I'm assuming that many of us will soon get a bit more exposure to Web3.
So Web3 and sustainability you're now in.
Yes, that's correct.
And are there any specific areas of improvement or professional development that you are currently focusing on in your career next to doing pro bono cases?
Yes, absolutely. So basically, I'm trying to educate myself more on service design and design at the strategic level, because I understand that basically this kind of holistic thinking, where you don't just focus on a specific interface, but on the system as a whole, is probably what we're going to need to tackle bigger challenges with design skills, such as sustainability, such as maybe digitizing industries that could benefit a lot from Web3, but are not yet there, meaning, let's say, logistics and even anything that has to do with accounting and back-end recording of transactions. Basically, one thing that I'm trying to work on more specifically is to also understand how my current industry, which is the banking industry, is going to be impacted by Web3. And what I mentioned before, open banking is, to me, pretty much like the connection between the old world of Web2, if we can call it an old world at this point, and how this could basically transform everything and help us connect into third parties that maybe, contain all the blockchains and everything that's gonna, essentially gonna be Web3. So this is pretty much where I'm at. I'm just trying to understand the system as a whole and not just, my little world. And yeah, I'm hoping that this will help me to basically do a better job once we get there, and also help me, I guess, help others do a better job once we get there.
Yeah, Okay, great. So looking ahead, what are your future goals or aspirations?
Yeah, so basically, one of the things that, as I mentioned a second ago, I'm really, really interested to explore more is design at the strategic level and service design. Just in a nutshell, what it basically means understanding what's happening within your organization and also outside. Right now, a lot of us people work in UX design and UX research. We pretty much try to understand the world of customers, but we don't so much like look inward to understand what are the touch points that basically happen, and then I mean from a customer standpoint, and then how organizational processes can enable them. So basically, I'm trying to get there because I do feel that a lot of what's happening with Web3 is actually happening in the back end, and it's getting more and more important for us design people to understand this part as well, so we can then make better recommendations and work more, I guess, in harmony with what's happening outside and inside, and enable better customer experience in general.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So actually, Yaron, we had the pleasure of collaborating with you on some insightful articles related to the UX in the past. Would you be
Correct.
willing to share your collection of articles on Medium with us,
Yes.
where our viewers, can explore your valuable contributions to this field?
Yes, sure thing. So I'm going to share my screen and just walk you through a little bit. Yes, so basically this is my Medium page. And these are some of my recent articles. I was really trying to basically look at the field of UX design and research more from a futures perspective, and understanding what are some of the, I guess, possible scenarios that we can see happening for us as professionals working in it in the future. So as you can see, there's obviously some generative AI angle in this, also some ideas about who we can see ourselves collaborating with as UX professionals. And as you mentioned, Catherine, I've been pretty active on this platform in recent years, and I've done a few collaborations with UX Bonfire just to basically understand a little bit what we can do in the space of Web3 from a UX research perspective, and also from UX in general, from the UX, I guess, perspective in general. Um, I tried to look into a few use cases about, I guess, blockchain solutions in the space of B2B, and also just how to do research around these very new and upcoming technologies. Beyond this, I basically try to tackle different areas of UX design and research within the context of some of my past articles. And I invite everybody who is interested to basically take a look.
Sure, we will link your Medium channel in the description below.
Thanks a lot.
So lastly, could you leave us with a memorable motto or phrase that encapsulates your approach to design and life?
Yes, absolutely. So basically, the quote I'd like to bring today to the conversation is by William Gibson, who is a fiction author, and basically it goes like this: the future is already here, it's just unevenly distributed. And the reason why I'm bringing this to the conversation is because I believe that, you know, a lot of things that are probably going to be some sort of a future scenario are already here. We just have to keep our eyes open and pretty much do what's called scanning the environment,
Yeah.
and really, like, you know, trying to understand if this exists today, like what could be the future based on what we're seeing right now.
Interesting. Wow. So, hey, your journey and insights have been truly enlightening, Yaron. Thank you so much for generously sharing your invaluable perspective with us, and your unwavering commitment to design and your keen interest in the potential of Web3 is truly commendable. We eagerly anticipate your future endeavors, and I'm sure there will be nothing short of game changing. We look forward to staying in touch with you and hearing more from you soon.
Thanks a lot, Catherine. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much.